Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lemon Stand. This is basically the show where I can talk about whatever the fuck I want. So today we are going to talk about mostly PlayStation experience. We also talk about the Game Awards, pretty much everything that's gone down in the past week, and there is a lot. And of course, Rick messages me right as I get on. Whoa. Anyways, so basically, me and Steve here, who is joining me,
Hello.
We went to PlayStation Experience this weekend, and it was one hell of a show.
It's pretty amazing.
Lucky dogs.
Yes, and of course we have Jesse here joining us to kind of bounce off a little bit of. So basically, so PlayStation Experience is kind of it's PlayStation's own conference where they just show off pretty much everything that they have coming and that is currently on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Of course, they started off. Well, it was in San Francisco this year, which is just right up the road for us. And well, for me, Steve.
Not for me, but
not for him.
right now it is.
So we went up there. It's at the Moscone Center, San Francisco, and we got up super freaking early so we can make sure we were at the keynote and got good seats, which we did.
Yeah, they started the keynote at 10, but people were lining up well before 8 o'clock in the morning. So.
Oh yeah, it was pretty insane.
So you guys camp out?
No,
we should have.
Probably should have. We got good seats.
Yeah, we did.
We were pretty close.
We got really close to the front.
We were, yeah. Like we were only sitting a couple rows back. I can never remember his damn name.
Who?
That YouTuber guy, the kind of funny guy.
Greg something or other.
Yeah, he was the one that won the Game Awards thing.
Yeah.
That guy. I mean, he seemed kind of cool being there, but I know Nick hates him with a fiery passion. But anyway, so that keynote, let's talk about that. That keynote was, I think, insane. It was very well done.
Oh, definitely. I don't know. It almost feels better than some of their E3 presentations they've had. Like, there was so much stuff that they announced.
Oh, it's so much stuff. And it might be partially because we're biased and we're there.
I mean, I don't know if that affects it at all. I'm sure it does. But, like, it was just nonstop games. They didn't take breaks to talk about stupid things. Like, it was just one announcement after the other.
It was. It started off with the grumpy old man talking about gamers now, that they have it so easy.
Yeah.
But what was the first thing they showed off was Uncharted 4, which, and right here, I think they kind of blew their load a little bit early, though, because I think that was the biggest pop of the night.
Yeah. Was
when they showed dialogue choices in Uncharted 4. I about jizzed my pants when I saw that. I was going insane, and like, out of every conference that we've been to, GDC, we've been to PAX, I've never been to a presentation that was that loud. Like,
oh yeah, the crowd went insane when that part happened.
Like and also, I mean, it's just the audio quality and everything they had set up in that room too. It was big and loud, and like you could really feel the rumble and everything, the sound too. But like it popped so much. But also, yeah, I mean, that's insane for me because I love the interactive drama. The interactive storytelling, like in games such as like Mass Effect, Uncharted, or Heavy Rain, or any of that kind of stuff. So when they put the dialogue choices in there, I was like, oh my god, Uncharted is now turning into everything I ever want in video games. Because I love that idea of controlling your story, choosing which way you go. Let's see, what else did they show off at the keynote?
Right after that was Final Fantasy
7, yeah.
Which I almost feel like they should have saved that for the end because that was probably the second biggest thing.
That was the second bit. They popped a lot for that. Well, yeah, they showed actual gameplay from Final Fantasy 7.
I didn't think they were going to do that. They said that the next time they would talk about it would be in December, and I thought it was just going to be some stupid little tease, like, hey, we're still working on it. Here's some concept art or something.
Right, like here's some more shots, and here's another like cinematic or something from it. But like,
it was like a long trailer that showed gameplay and everything, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, it looked amazing. Like it looked a lot like Crisis Core, like the gameplay from that, from what I could tell. Right. I mean, it was a lot of quick snaps and everything. But from what I could tell, it was that I don't remember seeing anything controlling the other characters.
I read that you can switch between 3-party members.
Okay, so you can switch between the three. Good, which I was hoping they should. But apparently they said it's going to be episodic.
Yeah, that was their big interview they announced in Famitsu like yesterday.
Right.
They said that they're going to, because of how big the game is and everything, and it just wouldn't be possible to do it all at once. and they're going to split it up into multiple parts. I don't know exactly what that means.
I thought it'd be funny if they just split it into 3 episodes, basically the discs.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking when you said episodic. I was like, wait.
Right.
Each disc.
I feel like everyone's like really upset about that, and really, I don't really care.
I don't really care.
If that's what it takes for them to make this game and
make it happen.
A full game that has everything in it, like it's okay.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm probably gonna piss off a bunch of people, and oh yeah, thanks, Nick. Yeah, Greg Miller is a dickhole. Yes, we'll get to that a little bit later because there's something I do want to say about him. But yeah, we got it reversed. We got it working on 2 different channels. But also we were trying out the Blue Snowball that our friend Ryan let us borrow. So hopefully the audio sounds better than it normally does. So yeah, but with Final Fantasy VII, I think it was a massive game at the time, and so bringing that big of a game to modern with modern graphics, the modern system, everything, it's going to take a long time. I understand them doing it episodically. I'm still on board. Because that game is going to take so long anyways.
Right, that's what I was thinking. We'll get it sooner if they do it this way. We don't have to wait 5 years.
Right, and by the time I'm probably at the point where the next episode caught up would be how much I played of it, because it's so damn long. It's such a long game. I think even when I speed rushed it, it took me like 80 hours.
Right.
So
that's the thing, is like most episodic games are like adventure games that last 5 hours, so you play it in one sitting and you're done. But
yeah. Normally,
game like this, it's an RPG,
episode,
so it's gonna take a long time to play each episode.
Hello, Jack Lehman. Damn you, Nick, for putting that dickhole on bullshit in my channels. Anyways, so but there was Final Fantasy. What else did they show off after that?
And there was a lot of stuff
in
between. I know one of the other really big ones was Ni no Kuni 2.
Ni no Kuni 2.
The audience went crazy for that one too.
Yeah, actually, I think the next biggest pop though of that press conference was actually Destiny.
Yeah, everyone.
It was insane. It was just like a DLC, but everyone was freaking out.
Right. I didn't know Destiny was that popular. Yeah. That crowd that was there.
Right. Like, it was kind of funny for Call of Duty though. It was like mixed. Like half the people were really cheering, the other people were like booing.
Right.
Like it's such a divided.
That was right after Final Fantasy.
Yes, it was.
Like, all right, time to go tweet about Final Fantasy and stop paying attention.
All right. Well, another thing though, that I noticed at the keynote, and even throughout the rest of the 2 days, was there was actually a decent amount of love for the Vita.
Oh, it was
especially by because Gio.
Yeah, he's
mostly
in charge of that division.
Yeah, he's in charge of that division. But like, there was like most of the games, like any of the indie games for sure, it was pretty much like and Vita. Like he was making a point. It will be on Vita. I was just like, that's pretty cool because Bastion just came out on Vita.
It's only like $3.
Yeah, it was $2.99. Which is insane. I'm glad they're showing some love, but yeah, there was that. I mean, all the presentations were good. There was, they showed off. They announced Rez Infinite.
Yeah, that was cool.
Which that shocked me.
The original creator came on stage.
Yeah, he was like in a VR suit. Yeah, whole body suit with the VR on and everything.
He said it had like 26 vibrators inside of it.
Yeah, him. Because didn't the original Rez have like a special thing?
I don't know.
Too. It was. Yeah, it was insane. But oh man, there was so much stuff. Like the other thing that I really popped for, and I kind of went a little bit insane, was Ace Combat 7.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't expect it at all. It looked, from what I could tell, it's in the Strange Real universe, but I can't confirm that. But from what I could tell, it didn't look like real world, like that huge ass structure and everything. It looked like definitely back in their fantasy world.
Right.
It looked cool, and that was a big announcement. So also we'll get to VR, but I will say I'm excited for it to play on VR. Shit, there was so much. The Street Fighter V presentation part was pretty cool, where it actually had what's his name?
Yu Suzuki. You're not Yu Suzuki.
No, not Yu Suzuki.
Yoshiono.
Right. He came out and actually he was in like the big gloves and everything, and and he punched Gio in the gut and everything. But yeah, like it almost seemed like they couldn't get him off the stage. He just wanted to keep talking.
Right. Yeah, he's super excited about that. I still think that's crazy that that's an exclusive.
Yeah, it is. It's a big.
Yeah,
big
I got to play that on the show floor, and it was really fun.
Oh, I didn't get to. That line was so long.
Yeah. Well, I went on the day when they had the Capcom Cup, so
it was a little bit shorter.
All the people were over there watching the Street Fighter finals, and I snuck in and played
that. So, I mean, was there anything like really noticeable about Street Fighter that you like that was different, or did it feel like 4 is better?
I played as Ryu, so.
So it felt like 4 were better.
Yeah, I didn't even try the new character because we only got to play one match. So.
Right. There was so much though at that keynote that like even though we have stuff written down, like I guarantee there's stuff that we're missing.
Yeah.
Oh, I was pissed actually that Full Throttle did not get that big of a pop.
Nah,
like
probably most people didn't know what it was.
No, I know. Like it seemed like Data Tentacle, like people were not excited that much watching it. I mean, it isn't that big of a flashy game, I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of understand, but it's still like. To me, like when you and me and probably like 2 other people in that auditorium like freaked out when he said Full Throttle was being remastered because it was like you and me were like, come on, because I love that game so much and it deserves a remaster. Probably, I personally think it deserves it more than probably the other ones because. Well, the Grim Fandango definitely did because of the 3D engine. It needed
fixed. They fixed the controls on that.
And they fixed the controls. Full Throttle, like Data Tentacle, I honestly seeing it is pretty much like if you took it and just put it on the Scrum emulator or Scum emulator and just put a filter on it. It doesn't look like that big of a difference. But Full Throttle, I think if they do, depending on how they do it, because it does have some 3D stuff in it. Could look really nice.
It might. I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm hoping.
Grim Fandango looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, Grim Fandango did a great job. The lighting and stuff. Grim Fandango looks really nice.
Right. Really, out of that segment though, the thing I was most excited for though was that they said Psychonauts was going to be in VR. New Psychonauts game.
Right.
Like, I mean, they announced Psychonauts 2, which is
right.
Huge.
It's a side game for VR. Yeah.
They're doing a separate one just on PlayStation VR, which is pretty cool.
What did they close it out with? The keynote. Just to kind of get this rolling. You remember?
No.
I actually don't either.
It wasn't something huge.
It wasn't.
They kind of did that kind of stuff earlier in the show.
They did. Yeah, I can't remember. But anyways, so okay, let's get to the Greg Miller thing, I guess. So there was a bunch of panels like afterwards, little shows or whatever. There was the one that was the PS I Love You show. It was a funny show and it was definitely entertaining. But even though he is a PlayStation fanboy, there's no doubt about it. He was almost a little bit of a dickhole to
he was really
Shuhei.
He was really harsh on them and like it kind of seemed like he was joking a lot of the times, but he like actually criticized the keynote a lot. Like, where was this thing? Where was this thing? And like,
right.
I don't know. I just found that was kind of weird that they would do that at a Sony event and like criticize a previous panel.
Yeah, I mean, like he was like saying it like directly to Shuhei, and the one thing like because it kind of started off like, hey, where were you, Shuhei? Why weren't you in the event? But I mean, I was really surprised that he wasn't. But I don't know why they didn't have him. But it was good that he was there and he was at least in that show. But yeah, I don't know. They were Yeah, what was the one thing they were criticizing really bad?
Well, the one thing was that the being able to change your PSN names.
Right.
Which I guess that was something they had been teasing, and everyone was predicting that they were going to announce that, and then they didn't mention it, so they were kind of upset about that, I guess. But, whatever. I don't want to change my name. I don't care.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I would like to change my name, but it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, he kind of came off as a little bit of a dickhole during that part. It was funny, but
he was a good host, though.
He was a very good host.
Panels and stuff he hosted. He was entertaining, I think. He gave a good speech at the Game Awards too.
Yes, his speech at the Game Awards was
really good.
Yeah,
where you kind of like thanked all the developers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was good. But yeah, I don't know. He's definitely a fanboy. for sure. I mean, there's a reason why he was hosting that. But what are the other ones? There was the voice acting panel
Yeah,
for
with the Uncharted
people. Yeah,
voice
and
actors.
it was great.
That was fantastic.
Nolan North started off by like, in case you don't recognize me, and he turned towards the crowd and did the animation that he does when he's idle.
It's like, I'm the guy that you go see the back of.
Yeah. Which I thought was great. Yeah, I mean,
Sully's voice actor was hilarious.
he was.
Like anytime he opened his mouth to say anything, the crowd would just go nuts.
Yeah, because
he has that voice.
Yeah, he has the Sully voice perfectly when he talks.
That's how he talks.
Yeah. Also, like they kept teasing him that he was the young one. Yeah, and then I mean, there's Troy Baker, and and there's Laura Bailey, who is just as beautiful in real life as I think. Very talented voice actors. And also there was Troy Baker, who is also just as beautiful in real life. But he seemed really good. I swear he was in Uncharted 3, though.
Not as a major character.
No, he wasn't a main character, though.
But he plays
Jesse. Fact check.
He plays Nathan.
All right. What else was there? There was the storytelling one, which I thought was kind of interesting because they picked games that you wouldn't normally necessarily think of for narrative, but it was games like it was the games that like kind of told a narrative in their own little unique way, like Bastion does, or like Journey, because Genova Chen
was there.
Right.
They had somebody from Media Molecule.
Right. Yeah, that's another one.
Which that one's more about creating your own narratives because they give you the tools to make your own stories.
Right. Yeah. It's about giving you the creativity, the abilities to create. And there was one of the guys. He worked on God of War, which that game was the only one that I would think of like in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
But
if he's not.
Okay. Okay. Apparently, I'm wrong. So, yeah, like. I thought that was kind of interesting. It was just kind of talking about like the newer ways that you could go about storytelling, and especially I love that Genova Chen hates text.
Yeah. He said that he doesn't speak English very well and he doesn't like text in games because he's a slow reader. So that's why he makes his games the way he does. And
yeah,
exactly. It makes sense.
Yeah, because it slows you down and you have to stop and read. He hates it. That's why, he did that the way his games are, which I thought was great. There was also the VR panel,
that one was
was it Anton?
Yeah, Anton from Media Molecule.
Yeah,
that guy is really smart.
Oh my god! Like, listen to him. I'm just gonna say this right now, just to get this over with. As most people know, I was never that huge into VR. Even though I worked for a VR company, like it wasn't my main, like the thing I thought we were ready for. But listening to him and also seeing PlayStation VR in person, I'm kind of a believer now.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was awesome. But like he was just talking about like these crazy experiences and these crazy ideas for like what VR could do. And like he was just like on a whole nother level. I wish I can remember some of the stuff.
Yeah, I just know he also like co-developed PlayStation VR and the Move. Like he was like directly involved.
Right. He was one of the main guys on the Move. Right.
So it makes sense that he understands the tech so well.
Mm-hmm. Because like they had what's his name from Rez?
Oh yeah.
Up there, like he was to me like he kind of got it, but he kind of talked like almost like how most of us though. Like it was just pretty much like, hey, once we get it to like higher resolution screens and everything, it'll be a lot better and everything. Once we get like move along a little bit more and more, it'll be great.
Yeah.
But he was just like talking about how it feels to be in VR and like talking about like we're still in the early days of it, and like we're still going to be playing around with, and this was Anton. He's like, we're still going to be playing around with it. He's like, it's right now it's going to be like the PS1 era where like we have the 3D, which will have the VR. He's like, but it's not going to be until you get to like Halo, because there was the guy that worked on Halo
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
at that panel as well. He's like, it's not going to be until like Halo was the first one to bring a first-person shooter really to consoles and make it work. And I think he was talking about like, you know, we're still trying things out, and eventually it's going to hit it. Like there's going to be a game that comes out that hits it on the dot, and that's
Right.
where we're going to branch off of.
Everyone's going to try to emulate that afterwards.
Right. And Cell, yes, we did try the PlayStation VR, and Steve, I'll let you go first.
I thought it was amazing because, first off, the biggest thing that I think PlayStation VR has over any of the other VR headsets I've tried is that you can actually use it wearing your glasses, and that's huge to me because like I don't see that well. So when I take off my glasses, I feel like that really hinders the experience. So the fact that I can just put this on easily over my glasses, that it's comfortable to wear, it's not so like heavy in the front. Like when you wear the Oculus, it feels like it's weighing down your head kind of. Like the way that it's designed, it's more balanced, so it kind of balances on the back of your head. It's like a separate piece that can move in and out that you can like put on the front.
Right.
And it's just so much more comfortable to wear. And
it is.
That's huge. Like
it doesn't have like the elasticy thing. It's just one big piece that's like on tracks that lock in, or where when you do it, and there's like a button to unlock it and everything. It feels like it's weighted. Like it's weighted in the back, so it gives you better balance sitting on your face instead of so it's so heavy.
Right.
Also, I have a feeling like because their display was a lot better than Oculus.
Yeah.
As I said, I even said this to Ian Hink at Game Trailers. I'm like, there's no screen door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's the great thing about it compared to Oculus. And I don't know what they're doing. I have a feeling what they're doing is just the pixel density, and it's technically a higher res screen, but they're playing the games at lower res, but they have the higher res screen, so you don't get that screen door effect.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, it just played really well. I mean, the latency, there was like none whatsoever that I could tell. And
it was really smooth.
Because I tried 3 games on it. How many did you try?
I tried 3 also.
It's 3. I did Eve, Valkyrie, was it Nog?
Yeah, Nog. I tried that one too.
Yeah, Nog, and I was Battlezone, which is it's like battle tanks. Like it's like very, like a spiritual successor to the old like Vectrex game. But like at least the Battlezone, and I'm sorry if I fucked up the title. I'm pretty sure it's Battlezone. And Eve, because of their setup, it like had the cockpit, and I think. And that's why I'm excited for Ace Combat, is the cockpit feel is perfect for VR. Like I'm not getting that. I was hoping to get to try a game where you actually got to walk around and stuff a little bit and see how that is, because that's where I feel like I get nauseous more.
Right.
But like sitting in the cockpit, like in Eve, it just was like it just clicked. Like I was in there. I was in the cockpit doing it, and I got the second highest score of the weekend on Eve. But I was kind of pissed because if I would have got 2 more kills, I would have taken it. And I didn't.
I feel like that's a discussion we had a lot though. Is that like when we put it on, like we would almost forget that we were wearing the headset. Like you would just get so into it.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen when I use the Oculus.
Right. Like because in both those games you're like in the cockpit, and I'm like looking around, but they also have like stuff going on all around you, and I'm actually in there like. And, a plane would fly right by me, and I'd be like, and then go after them.
Right.
And the setup and everything, I think for that those type of games are perfect, and Battlezone was the same way. You look around, and then you can like target, and you figure out where everyone is. Nog was definitely different though.
Yeah, Nog was different because it was like a puzzle game where you're just kind of looking at things and like flipping them around and stuff. That one we also played with the controller, which I think made it a little bit of a difference. Because Rez was the same way, because I played that. And that one felt okay. I mean, you just kind of look around and you can move the camera. The weird thing about Rez was that the goal of the game is to kind of like point your like directional thing, like the little cursor at the pieces in the air. And you can do that with the controller, but you also can do it with your head. And so, like, the way that you're playing it is you're actually aiming with your head, so you're kind of just, like, going like this all the time, and, like, that's how you control the game, and that felt kind of weird to me.
Right.
But,
I have a feeling that would bug me after a while.
Yeah, I couldn't play that for very long. But London the Heist, I played that one. That game was amazing. It was so good. Like, the demo just starts off that you're, like, captured, and there's, like, this big, mean, bald dude, like, yelling at you, and you're just like sitting in this chair, and he's like talking about what he's gonna do with you, and he hands you a phone. He like sticks the phone. He's like, "Here, this is for you." And you actually like you have the 2 move controllers, and you have to like reach out, grab the phone from him, and you like pull the trigger to like grip your hands. So you like grab the phone and like hold it up to your head, and you like can like when you move it, like you hear it loud. It's like louder in your ear when you put your hand by your head.
No,
Like,
that's
just
cool.
that just felt so cool, and like because you have the move controllers like the whole time in your hands, and like you can grip your hands around and stuff and pick stuff up, and it felt so realistic. Like I just felt like I was actually there.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then
yeah. So
that game was fantastic, and like it moves on to another part where you're trapped behind a desk, and all these guys like are surrounding you, shooting at you, and you have to like open the drawers of the desk and like pull out a gun and actually like aim at them.
Mhm.
And like while you're playing the game, you actually have to like crouch down. You physically crouch down behind the desk, and like you can walk around the area and everything, and like it just felt so cool. Like I was blown away by that game.
Yeah.
That demo was amazing.
Right. I mean, Eve was my first one, and like when I just sat down and I just like, because I love flight sims, and like it just clicked for me. Like I knew how to play. I just got into it, and it felt so natural, like what I would actually be doing, sitting there in the cockpit or wherever.
Right.
And yeah, I was just like, the only thing is yeah, it definitely. I talked to the developer of Battlezone, and like pretty much the one thing is PlayStation is very adamant about is hitting 60 frames per second the whole time. I was talking to him. He said, he has something. They went for like that like Vectortron-ish look for it, because he said that part of the reason why they did that was to make sure they hit full resolution on that at 60 frames.
Right.
And that was really good. And I guess their PlayStation, like he said, is very, very adamant about that, because any skip can make you nauseous or make you flip out or just make you lose it.
Yeah.
That it's not VR. And Valkyrie actually played very, very smooth the whole time. It did not bug me either. But yeah, again, it was still a little pixelated, but no screen door, which was fantastic.
Right.
Eventually, you get past that it's a little pixelated. And I mean, that was personally the highlight.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
I tried to play other games, but like whenever I had the chance, I would go straight for a VR line, just because that was something I really wanted to try out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's only there with something to try out. But for other games that are not out, we played a bunch of games that are not out though.
Oh yeah.
So like, Shadow of the Beast.
Yeah, Shadow. That was the first game I went to play. I was excited about that one.
Yeah.
It was actually really good because if anyone had played the old original one, like it's really stiff and doesn't control very well. Like there's a lot of cool things about the old game, but the controls are not one of them. But this new one actually feels really smooth. It feels like a modern game.
Yeah, like it has actually like a combo system and everything.
Mm-hmm. It's got the original music.
Yeah, it has the music.
That was the one thing I was worried about.
Same here, because the music from the original Shadow of the Beast is amazing. But yeah, it's like new. It's remixed a little bit.
Yeah, it sounds more cinematic.
But it's really cool. So they brought in the music and everything. Yeah, and it definitely feels like an indie game though.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's a smaller budget. It's definitely a smaller budget game, but it definitely seems fun. I mean, if you're looking for like not a super cinematic game, but like something where you just go around, you brawl, and you just kill people and rip their heads off and throw them at other people type of game, and go for it. Also, I love it that they kept that art style too, of like that weird, like almost like that claymation-ish kind of look almost. Like I don't really know how to describe it.
The way that I would describe that art style is it reminds me of what you see on the cover of like metal albums.
Yeah,
that's just what it feels like. It's
very
like a metal album.
Yeah, that's exactly describes it very perfectly, and they kept it, which I was really happy to see that. That like progressive rock, or whatever. I don't know what to call that style of art. I wish I did. Jesse, you have any idea?
What, the name of that?
Yeah,
No.
that art style.
Official name for
No.
that.
I don't know.
I don't think there's a real official name for it.
Yeah, like surrealist kind of.
Yeah, in a way, it is kind of surrealist.
But yeah, it was really cool. Well, right next to that was Ratchet and Clank, the prequel.
Yeah.
Which it played like Ratchet and Clank, but it was cool. It was good. It looked beautiful. The one cool thing in there that I noticed was the pixelator.
Oh yeah,
Gun.
they showed that off during the conference.
Yeah, which how you you shoot them with the pixelator gun and like they get all low res and like voxeled the creatures or whatever that you're shooting it at. Yeah, and you blast them and they explode in the voxels. And it's a really cool gun. I mean, that's something Ratchet and Clank's good at. Let's see, there was Far Cry Primal, which was really fun. I actually enjoyed it a lot. I know, Steve, you played it as well. I'm more of a Far Cry fan than you.
Yeah, I've only ever played Blood Dragon, so going into it was a little bit weird just because I didn't really know the point of Far Cry, and like the demo didn't tell you that at all. It's just like, here you are, there's animals everywhere, go kill them.
Yeah, it just drops you in the forest, and you played for like 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it feels a lot like Far Cry 4, but it brought the combat more down to like the bow and arrow, which is good. But one cool thing is like all melee weapons for the most part, but you could throw anything. That was the cool part. Like you throw anything and you have to go pick it up. But like you'd always have like a spear. There was like a club. There was something else too. But there was also like the meat and everything. Like, and you could control. You get the animals to help you.
Right.
That was the one cool thing.
I thought it was cool too. I took my club and I went up to a campfire and I set my club on fire, and then it was just on fire for the rest of the demo, so I could like.
Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't try that.
Yeah, and I also noticed in the menu there was something that made it sound like there were multiple characters. I don't know, like just the way that it was set up. If you look at your stats, there's like different skills sorted by different characters, but like they were all disabled for the demo. And I actually asked the guy about that, and he was just like, "Oh, I can't talk about that right now. Maybe we'll find out about it or something."
Nice.
But yeah, like I have a feeling you're gonna be able to play as different people in the game.
So you were right.
That's what that sounds like. Yeah.
Like, oh, somebody actually looked in the menu. What?
I didn't notice that either. It's probably because like you're probably one of the few people that never played a Far Cry, so
I'm just poking around at everything.
Yeah.
To
me, I'm like, how do I use the binoculars? Oh, it's a fucking owl that I take and I can go around the area and spot people, and then I can have the owl attack them. I'm like, this is cool. But yeah, no, it was fun. It was a fun game. It was a fun little demo.
You didn't try For Honor, did you?
No, I wanted to try For Honor, but that line was so long.
It was right next to that booth, and it was crowded there all day. So
like it had to be like a 2-hour wait, like all the time. It was really bad. I mean, I did it for Eve because I'm like, I want to try this out on VR.
Yeah.
But yeah,
actually,
I watched them and it looked cool.
Right. Yeah.
Like it definitely seemed like it was like a third-person Chivalry, I guess, but it was kind of a little bit more slowed down, and it felt a little even. I know Chivalry kind of had the feel of it being it's a little more tactical, I guess. Like you really have to plan your shots, but this even felt more that way, at least from looking at it. And also more, different more variations. And again, Chivalry has the Deadliest Warrior one, but it's a little more silly. Where this is a little more serious. But also you can take on like tons of minions and stuff. It's almost a little bit like a MOBA from what I could tell of it, like setup. Not as necessarily that you're trying to like take, the ancients or whatever, like in Dota type of deal. But I mean, like there's like the main characters and then there's like the minions that you just like bash through.
Right. I also tried out Uncharted 4 multiplayer. That was pretty fun. I mean, it doesn't feel that different from Uncharted 3's multiplayer, but it was still pretty cool. I don't know. I feel like the controls are a little bit different. There's a little bit more stuff you can do. Their booth was awesome too.
Oh yeah, like
their booth, right? Like it was all like jungle themed and stuff.
Like even the line like went up onto like this like hanging bridge.
Right. Yeah, and they had like torches and stuff all over the place. It was really neat. It definitely felt the part.
Yeah, it was really cool. I didn't wait for that long of a line. How long was it?
It was actually super short because I got there like right at the end of the conference.
Oh, when everyone was clearing out.
It was like one of the last times that people had to play it, so I only had to wait for like 2 rounds.
Right.
Because they had like 4 different matches going at once, like in different parts of the booth. So it was pretty well set up.
Right. Let's see, what else did we play?
I tried out Severed, which is the new game by the creators of Guacamelee.
Right.
It's exclusively on the Vita, which is kind of interesting.
That is
they would
weird.
choose that, but
It'll come to PC eventually, I bet.
maybe I don't know. I guess it could work with mouse controls, but like it's super reliant on the touchscreen because it's like a first-person game, but it's still in that exact same art style as Guacamelee, which is really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
But you're wandering around. There's like these monsters that attack you, and you have to swipe in the opposite direction that the monster attacks to like block them. But like keep swiping and hit them. And it's kind of like a first-person Myst style game, other than the combat. Like you're just kind of exploring, trying to find puzzles and stuff like that. I thought it was cool. I asked the developer there if they had any plans to put it on PlayStation TV because obviously it needs the touchscreen. He said
Right.
probably not,
Mhm.
just because of how reliant it is on the touchscreen. But he did say that he's really interested in developing it for VR, which like using the Move controller and stuff, which I think that would be awesome. Like,
Right.
That would be really natural for it. So maybe that'll happen eventually. I guess he said it's only a few months away, so
All right.
should be releasing pretty soon.
I mean, all right. So let me just kind of get this to close. Is there any other final things you can say about PlayStation experience? I mean, it was just amazing,
Yeah, it was really fun.
yeah.
If anyone never gets the chance to go,
Yeah.
I definitely recommend it.
especially for the price and everything. It's totally worth it.
Right, like
for
it
sure.
almost
It's like a mini E3.
Yeah, so I was thinking like it feels like E3, just Sony stuff. Like that's
Mhm.
they have the press conference where they announce new games. You get on the
So
show floor and
much.
play stuff. So
Yeah, it definitely got me hyped. I pretty much am pretty sure I want a PS4 like as soon as possible now. I mean, I'm as everybody who knows me, like I am PC all the way. I love PC, but I there is a special place in my heart for PlayStation. I do love them. So I mean, I love gaming. I love consoles. I mean, I love it all. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what PlayStation is coming out with here soon. They make some really great stuff here and there.
next year is definitely going to be a good year.
Oh, it's definitely going to be a very good year. So just to kind of finish this out. Well, first off, Jesse, is there any questions you have?
Honestly,
Our PlayStation experience. We cover everything.
you kind of did. You covered pretty much any questions I could have had.
What is your favorite? But you watched the press conference, didn't you?
No, actually,
Oh, you haven't seen it? No.
no. I've seen bits and pieces. Like I saw the Final Fantasy trailer.
Right.
I saw
You excited?
like
Aw. Is it
well,
because
I've never really been a huge fan of 7 anyway.
Well,
but
you like 8 better, don't you?
I actually haven't played 8.
Oh, okay. No, you're a 9 person, aren't you?
9.
Yeah,
9.
you're that guy.
Too
Yeah.
bad that probably never.
Yeah. So that
Oh
means
no,
you're
that'll
gonna-
never happen. But
Yeah, you're gonna hate the new combat probably then. Well, I don't know. You probably didn't play Crisis Core.
no, I didn't play Crisis Core.
They, yeah, because I think
the
they
little-
went to that.
It looked a little Kingdom Heartsy.
Yeah,
A little bit.
yeah. I feel like
Like,
they said it's going to be a balance between Kingdom Hearts and Dissidia. I think.
Okay. I never played Dissidia, but I played Kingdom Hearts. It's not a bad combat system. It's just different. Like I could see myself maybe playing it, like if I ever got the chance. Like I wouldn't mind just to see what differences there were between the original and the remake.
Yeah.
But I'm not like jumping out of my seat for it. Like I think it definitely looks better, but that's not saying much.
I guess they're making it in Unreal 4. They've officially
Oh,
announced that.
really? That was Unreal 4? Nice.
I mean, it's definitely pretty.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
I can't say anything bad about the art. They did a damn good job.
Okay. Yeah. Also, I thought they said Horizon was supposed to be there, and I did not see it
Yeah, I
anywhere.
thought so too. It wasn't there at all.
Oh, well, I mean, that was something I was looking for because it's one game I really, really want.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
supposed to be out next year.
Right, it's supposed to be out next year. But let's move on to what the Game Awards. Just kind of go over that a little bit. I just to kind of move it along, though, I thought and they still held up this year. Like last year, I thought this is the way we need to go with video game awards. This is the way it needs to be, and they continued that. I think they hit it very much on the dot. The only thing I was pissed off at was that Rocket League didn't win Best Multiplayer Game, but I'm okay with it because they won Best Independent Game and Best Sports Game. So,
Even though Undertale should have won Best Independent Game.
How did I know you were going to say that?
see, if they would have just won Best Multiplayer, I would have been okay with that, Steve. But you know what?
What did? Destiny or something.
I think it was Destiny, if I remember correctly.
I'm not surprised then. That one.
Yeah, but
Honestly, though, I feel like nobody watches the Game Awards for the awards. They watch it for the announcements.
yeah, which was what was the announcements there?
Telltale Batman.
Telltale Batman, that was a big one, yes.
Yeah, that could be really good.
Mhm.
It could.
Well, okay, yeah. You know what, Jesse? Let you do this because you actually watched the Game Awards.
I did.
Tell us what you liked about it. What are some of the big things for you?
Goddamn Psychonauts 2.
I know. I was like, no.
I died.
No way.
I died. I was so happy. I fucking love that game. I can't wait.
Have you funded it yet?
I have not. If you give me the link, I will.
It's on Fig, I think is what it's called. It's a
It's
new
on Fig?
website.
I mean,
I guess
I would do anything to see that game happen. And
I guess that website is actually
Be in
owned
it.
by Tim Schafer, and
Oh, really?
it's different than Kickstarter in that you can actually invest in the game and like own a portion of the game or something, and you get returns on your investment. So if
Huh.
you invest like a certain amount of money in the game, you'll actually get paid, like depending on how well the game sells.
Wow, that's an interesting idea. I mean, I guess that's
That's
what
really
a lot of the dumbass people thought Kickstarter was.
right.
Because as someone who's dealt with that behind the scenes and everything, like they act like they own the property because they help fund it, which they
Right.
don't.
Right. I know that was big when the Oculus got sold to Facebook, and everyone's like, "What? They can't do that."
Yeah, they can. You own it.
Right.
You pretty much. It's pretty much like it's the same thing as like a pre-sale, basically.
Yeah.
It's more closer to that. It's just they're using that money to help actually make it.
Right.
But yeah, let's see.
I mean, that was
I
my
mean-
biggest one. But
Yeah, that was huge.
I still find it weird and kind of crazy still that Jeff Keighley fucking just called out Konami.
Yeah, that was great.
like as me and Steve said, and this is like a very, very slim chance that this is what we're about to say. But like
this is straight up conspiracy theory.
it's a straight up
what it
conspiracy theory. It like this whole thing is a giant setup
Right.
for something. Because it just seems so. And I think Keighley was like implausible, or like he said something. I forget exactly his exact wording, but it was just like inconceivable. I think was what he said.
Right.
And it does. It like doesn't make sense that like Konami is being this big of fucking jackholes about this.
Yeah. Like I really expected Kojima to just come out on the stage under a cardboard box. Like I was expecting that to happen.
Yeah, it just seemed
Cardboard box,
insane.
cloud of smoke.
And like I'm still like waiting like for them to make some big huge announcement.
Because they keep saying like, "Oh, he still works with us. He's just on vacation right now."
Yeah, but we all know, like at least the way the stories are going, that he's not.
Right.
Like he
Why would they take his name out of the credits? If
right.
still
He's
works
probably
there?
locked up in a basement somewhere. And like and Kiefer Sutherland had to come and get it for Kojima. It's just such a weird situation. It doesn't. And maybe
It doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense that the company would be this fucking stubborn
Yeah.
over it.
They don't care because they're not making games anymore.
Right.
so.
But I mean, they didn't even. They could if Konami really wanted to, they could have had somebody from Konami, like a higher up, come and get the award or something. Like, but they didn't even do that. Like,
Right. Because they don't care.
yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm more just hoping for the conspiracy theory. But all my bets are, this is just a fucked up situation,
Right.
and it
Like,
just
I
keeps
don't-
getting worse and worse.
I don't know why they would tell him not to go either, because I don't think anything he could have said there would be worse PR than not letting him go to.
Yeah, I think that was worse, not letting him go. And again, Jeff Keighley calling him out.
Yeah.
Which another thing that surprised me, Jeff Keighley is such a straight up, for the most part, dude. He really is.
Yeah.
And a lot of times he kind of pesters people sometimes and questioning and stuff. I mean, I know it's kind of his job, but he can be a little annoying about it. But other than that, he is a really straight up good dude.
Oh yeah, I feel like in the last few years, my opinion of him is completely.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me 5 years ago, he pissed me off. But that's just because he's always like, "Hey, Gabe, Counter-Strike 2?" He was that guy, but like he's grown into this authoritative figure in gaming. And I mean, I think he got tired of the bullshit he was dealing with Viacom and Spike, and it's like, you know what, we're gonna make a respectful Game Awards show, and I think he's accomplished this with everything that has transpired in the past 2 years. He's done a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, I still the esports thing and the internet person of the year or whatever. Still a little bit.
And
I'm not the biggest fan of that.
concert thing at the end. Who was it? I forget his name.
Oh, Deadmau5?
Deadmau5. Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Deadmau5
I thought, Deadmau5 5. Imagine Dragons with oh god, why am I forgetting names? The guy from Nintendo who did Zelda music.
Koji Kondo?
Koji Kondo, yeah. They did that at the end of last year. That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was a great thing. This year was, and the musical guests and everything was a little bit
I
more
just thought
skippy.
it was weird because it was kind of like, all right, we've got one last surprise for you. It's a new Deadmau5 song, and everyone's like, okay.
Yeah, which features some sound effects from Mario. Like,
Right.
okay.
And only at the very beginning.
Yeah, pretty much. I think there was like one other sound like somewhere in the middle, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it. So I mean, any other feelings about it, Jesse?
Well, it's definitely better than it used to be. I'm liking them now. I don't just see the video game awards and just go,
Right.
now I can actually watch them and feel like it's somewhat respectable.
Right.
Before it was just kind of like a fucking circle jerk.
Yeah, it pretty much was. It was like, it felt like that was everything wrong with the gaming industry slapped into a show.
Yeah.
And they turned it around. If they're trying to, it seems like they're trying to make this the Academy Awards for gaming, and that is a gorgeous trophy. Every time I see it, I'm like, wow, what a fantastic, good job.
I also really like that gaming history segment that they've been.
Yes,
doing
they
this
always
year.
have that award for. He brings the history back from video games, from the old stuff. Like, so they did Westwood this year. I forget who they did. It was Sierra last year.
Yeah, because they did. That was right before the King's Quest got announced.
Right.
It's kind of tied into that.
Right, which Westwood isn't doing anything, as far as I know right now, unless there is a new Command & Conquer in the works. I don't know. But no, it was really good because Westwood has a very interesting story, and I was really happy that they gave it to him because there are a bunch of just geeks and artists and whatnot that just like, hey, let's make some games or whatever. Like one story I remember was like them going, let's make Doom. But even when they went to Command & Conquer, I remember them saying they went out and like hired, like they knew guys or whatever that were artists, like they were really good, like painters or like videographers and all this stuff. They're like, we have no idea how to make a video game. They're like, that's okay. We're not 100% sure either, but we will make this work. And like, we will just take your art and, we'll make it digital and we'll figure this out. And I thought that was just a cool idea. And they ended up making the first real big like RTS of all time, the Command & Conquer, and its silly B movie feel that it has, which I love it.
Their focus on it.
I know, and they focus on it, and I love it. But no, Game Awards is great. So I think from here, unless you guys got any more things that you guys want to bring up,
What do you think about the game of the year?
The Witcher, I'm fine with it. As long as it wasn't fucking a Mario Maker, I was happy because it is not a game. It wasn't a game.
I'll be honest, I was surprised that was even nominated.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been.
And this is coming from me. I fucking love Nintendo.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, why is that there? There's no way it's gonna win.
I don't feel like Splatoon would have been a better choice than that. Actually, that's one multiplayer game of the year.
All right, and apparently Nick says he felt like, oh yeah, the Game Awards in the past felt insulting. Yeah, they were insulting, like the VGX and the VGAs.
Right.
VGX definitely.
Well, that's because they would get like these hosts to like host it that knew nothing about games.
Right.
Like it would just be terrible. Like
Right.
now they don't bother with that. They just have developers and stuff
Mhm.
talking, which is way better.
Right, it is way better. Oh, you know, I'm not even gonna dignify Shaq Fu. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
That was one time it was on stage.
Yeah. Anyways, so basically, this next little ending to the show is basically we're just going to talk about what we have planned in the future. We do have one more final save cast we're going to try and fit in before the end of the year. We're basically going to go over our picks for what were the best games of the year and stuff such as that. Also, there was the Steam controller review that Nick just put out that is really good. So anybody else that ends up watching this, check that out. And as for other plans for next year, I'm right now. I'm trying out a blue snowball, seeing how that sounds and how it feels for this. We're gonna be upgrading our video, our mics. Also, I think a lot of our processes. So like this, every once in a while we'll do this willy-nilly stuff that we're doing now. But we're gonna take more of our time before each show and really plan stuff out. We're also gonna try and do stuff such as get like XSplit. And so that we can have like other videos and stuff going on in the background while we talk, and a few other ideas that we're trying to work on for the shows and everything. So hopefully that'll pan out for next year. I pretty much I think everything pretty much. So
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you, Jack Lehman, for watching. I see you down there. But anyways, yeah, and thank you everyone for watching. Jesse, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, anytime. Also, Steve, thank you for doing the podcast with me. And yeah, and again, hopefully everyone liked it. Follow me. I changed my Twitter to make it easy. I'm just at Joe Schwarten now, not doing the lemon merchant thing, even though this is my lemon stand. All right, I own it. I do what I want. I would be so.
He sells lemons.
Yeah, I sell lemons. And also, the last thing, just to ask both of you, what is a game that you feel is a lemon that no one else feels is a lemon? Steve, I'll let you go first. What is a game that people think is great,
Right.
but you think is shit?
Final Fantasy 12.
Final Fantasy 12?
I hate that game.
Oh, ouch. Jesse, what do you got?
Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, get out of here. We're done. This show's over. Good night, people. We're closing off on that.